Hey Tasha, so they always want to give me blood, and now I have iron overload. What am I to do about it? How to get rid of iron overload? Please help. Any advice? Ooh, deep breaths. Okay. Hey Tasha, so first and foremost, thank you for your question. Um, it's really not as bad as it may seem. You can get rid of the iron overload with jade new. Um, and that's what most patients that do blood transfusion or transfusion programs, that's what they take. Um, I am a different patient. I'm allergic to all blood product, all blood product. So I can't be transfused for any reason. And if they ever had to transfuse me, it would be a whole production like crazy. And the reason that uh, I can't be transfused is because of antibodies and hyperhemolysis. So the hyperhemolysis runs in my family. And as a fifth generation sickle cell patient, I've had other members in the family who had sickle cell that also suffered from hyperhemolysis. And one of the key examples is my Uncle Teddy, my mother's eldest brother. Um, he was transfused multiple times before the age of 3, and he had multiple strokes because of it. And as a result, the last stroke was major, and it left him both physically and mentally handicapped. So when I was born, my whole family was like, we don't do transfusions. Nope, not going to happen. And I didn't have a transfusion, my first one, until I was about 15. And even then, I think I got like half a unit. But when I tell you they did everything except call the Pope and have him pray over it, like it was a whole production. Now, when I turned 19, um, I had what would be considered a simple blood transfusion. Um, and the hyperhemolysis put me in a coma for 4 days. So, hyperhemolysis is when your body not only breaks down its own red blood cells, which it does in the process of sickling. So, sickling is just a very efficient form of hemolysis. Hyperhemolysis is when the body also breaks down the red blood cells of the blood that's being donated to you. So you're breaking the blood now just all day doesn't matter. And that's generally what causes the rejection of the blood transfusion. So for the last 20, 21 years, um, I have been on either Procrit or Epogen. These are injections that you get daily, sometimes twice a day, and they promote the making of red blood cells. They take about 3 days to set in, really, but once they do their job and they get the body to start making the red blood cells, and your hemoglobin will begin to go up. I think the reason that it's not offered to sickle cell patients, number one, is because most doctors just jump to transfusion because that's what's been around so long. Not only that, but unfortunately, in this whole opioid shenanigans we've been caught up in, a lot of doctors truly believe that by transfusing us, that one, they will stop the sickling. We sickle 24/7, you're not going to stop it. And that it'll stop the pain. So now we're using blood transfusion as a form of pain management. I, that's a whole other video on how unethical and immoral that is. Um, and then part two is that they don't really care to know. They don't care to look for another option. And I know that sounds harsh and everything, but it's true. They don't sit down and say, what can we do instead of giving you blood? Because the fact of the matter is that every time you're transfused, you are playing, okay? You're playing with your life. In that, that could be the last time that too many antibodies get pushed into your system. That could be the last time that your body can take and process the transfusion properly and you can reject it. Like, I don't understand why we want to act like simple blood transfusion and even red blood cell exchange, even though it's a much better alternative if like blood is just on the brain like that. But we have Procrit, we have Epogen. If you're not allergic to it, and if your doctor is not trying to always get you out of the hospital in 3 days, it's a good alternative. I've been on it for 2 decades, and it's not been a problem. So I would speak to your doctor about the Jadenu, speak to them about Procrit or Epogen injections when in hospital, and see what they say. And if you have any more questions about it, hit me up. I hope that's helpful.